Guess who I found?
Leah. Did you find our girl?
Oh,
There she is.
Leah.
She's alive, folks.
Leah, how are you doing?
Oh, guys, it was brutal out there. I'm doing okay. Can't really move my left leg. Got a little, I think, cactus spline vertically impaled up underneath my skin, hitting a nerve or something, but thriving.
Not the dry
But who's
needling you had in mind.
watching?
Oh, my little nephew at home is watching. He thinks I'm a superstar. He doesn't know that I dropped out, so we're just going to keep rolling with this. So, hi, Weston.
You are a superstar.
You're still a superstar.
Thanks, guys.
Hey,
Yeah,
Leah,
so we
can
think
you?
we're about. Oh, what was that?
I was gonna ask Leah if she can give us a little insight on what those conditions were like in the first handful of miles.
Oh, this race I did the 60K in 2021, and I remember finishing it being like, I don't think I would do that again. I forgot how beautiful it is out there. The sunrise this morning was gorgeous. Forgot my sunglasses. That would have been really helpful. The first 6 or 7 miles were pretty heinous, actually. So yesterday, the 100K runners, because they were running later in the day, they had to deal with a lot of mud, really sloppy for them. There was like 1,000, probably roughly 1,000 runners that ran yesterday, and all that mud from yesterday was frozen mud today. So just like really chunky, uneven steps for the first 6 to 7 miles. So tons of ankles were being twisted out there, lots of stabilizers being used, and it felt very easy to work too hard in those first 6 to 7 miles. After that, it was not frozen mud anymore, and it was really cruisy. But yeah, tougher than I thought for those first 6 to 7 with how like actually relatively easy those miles can be.
So, Leah, we know you're a closer. We know that's how you like to race, but we are all in shock and awe of the women's field. It has got to be one of the most competitive 60K, 50K races that we've seen in the women's field. So give us just kind of an idea of that tempo, what you felt like you were running out there, if it was a comfortable pace, if you felt like you were being pushed, because honestly, you were running under course record pace. And you were in the top
wild.
11th. Yeah.
I felt like I think Katie, you guys know, like I was coming into the race today, like just wanting to keep it pretty chill, get a good effort out of myself, but not go to the well. And I mean, being just like comfortable had me in 11th place. I felt like I was working like moderate. And yeah, there was women, I could see like the group of Keely and a few others like ahead of me, probably like a minute or two for miles at a time. But then there was like a group that just took off like ahead of her. And I know Keely runs very smart and knows this course well. So I was pretty shocked to see that there was a group running even like faster than she was. But yeah, immediately off the start line, like kind of like a pack took off and split apart. So I'm amazed. I'm so excited to learn more about the women out there because I know that they're crushers. I do know that like it's super easy to fly on those first 20 miles and the real work happens in the last like 15 here. It gets really tough and it actually can get quite hot. I remember I had to like shove ice down my sports bra a couple years ago when I ran this. And like the race definitely does not end until the finish line here. I think Corinne Chalvoy, if she's on here at all today, she almost caught me. I think she finished like 30 seconds behind me back in 2021. So almost had a sprint finish. So it's not over till it's over. And I think we'll be seeing some really competitive women out there today.
Yeah. What would you say if we told you that Elena Horton, a name that none of us had known, was 25 minutes under Mimi Koka's course record right now?
What?
Yeah.
I looked at when I dropped out in the car. I was like, "Oh, Mike, how's the rest of the race going?"
Yeah.
And I looked at the results. I was like, "Who's Elena Horton?" So I looked her
Right.
up. I was like, "What the heck? This is amazing.
Yeah.
That is incredible." I'm shocked and I'm really excited to see what kind of time she can throw down. I think historically we've seen like the 60K be a little slower, especially relative to the 100K. Like the 100K splits are always almost faster than the 60K race, which is interesting. I think just that adrenaline and like that race atmosphere brings out the best of those runners. But the 60K is kind of like that second tier event. And I feel like this is the first year we're actually seeing it like explode a little bit more.
Yeah, so reasonable for those times to maybe be a bit quicker with a big deep field as opposed to maybe like one or two runners. Like Eli running off the front right now, maybe that very similar to how the women's race has been in past years. But there's a pack of women. We saw coming to Bumblebee Ranch, and I don't know what's happening out there because I haven't gotten to see it in a second. And I have to imagine that we've got just like a lot of dynamic racing going on.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think like some of the technical, it's really easy to like get caught up into somebody else's like technical running pace out there as well and like start working a little bit hard or like get too complacent with how somebody else in front of you is running. So I'm curious to see how they're pushing and pulling from each other as well.
Yeah, so
We've
last
got
we
Jubilee on the loudspeakers here.
we can't quite hear her. Is she do we see Eli? What is she announcing there?
We don't see Eli yet. She's just kind of welcoming everyone here.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, Katie, you were here yesterday. This is such a cool location. Like, I was kind of bummed to hear about the like little course change to add this in as part of the course, but this is an amazing aid station location, finish line location. Like, it must have been absolutely insane here yesterday.
It was so insane. They have the Jumbotron. They have music blasting. They can probably see us on the live stream Jumbotron right now. But there were people playing football. It was almost like a big picnic. All the crews were there. It was definitely a party. Though I do have one question. How is the river getting into the aid station today?
I was nervous for it because I heard the horror stories that you told Katie from yesterday. We watched two SUVs in front of us do it. And that gave us like the inspiration we needed to send it. I can't imagine any car smaller than an SUV going through there. Or like, I think I heard some electric vehicles were sending it through there. So fingers crossed for them.
It's not fun.
I would not have driven my Prius through there.
No, not a good
my
idea.
Prius would not have made it.
Dinky rental car. Leah, you are an absolute champion. After on the field all day yesterday, then getting up early, running the 60K, having an injury, and still, ladies and gentlemen, making it back to the finish line where she gets an interview.
I know.
What a champion.
Yeah, get some medical attention and figure out.
Thanks, you guys. All I can say is Katie and I were sharing the same floor in our Airbnb last night, and she woke up this morning when we did and was like, guys, it's race day. And I was like, Katie has way more energy than I do today about this race.
Always has it.
So thank you for giving me all the energy, Katie. I wish the race would have lasted a little bit longer for me. I felt good out there, but yeah.
So wait, Leah, before you go, what kind of cactus are we talking about?
I actually don't even know. If you guys were to look at my leg, I look like the biggest wimp because there is like the smallest speck of blood on my leg.
It hit the wrong spot.
It hit the wrong spot, and like I'm like raised and swollen in that area, and like I actually can't like walk on my left leg, and I had to have Mike give me a piggyback ride over to my chair right here. If you're looking for me today, guys, I'll be here probably for the next like 2 hours.
Oh, okay. Well, say hi to Graham. He's around there somewhere, I think.
She wants to leave, but she can't leave.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, she's a captive audience for the next several hours.
Hey, Corinne, keep her close.
Mike also left you.
Corinne, keep her close.
We'll keep her close. Don't worry.
If you need to,
I'll bring all the finish line interviews to this spot, and then we can just hang out with them together.
Perfect.